Yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. My name is Caroline Oceana Ryan. I'm here with Master Tracker and Energy Healer Bonnie Serratore, and this is the September Energy Update. Very glad you're here. If you've got any questions, please just write them in the chat. And it's we're just I was just saying to Bonnie about these incredible energies having to do with the blue supermoon, and she's been feeling a lot as well. And this month looks to be a bit different from the last few. So I'm going to hand that talking stick to Bonnie and just tell us what's going on, Bonnie, with these energies, please.
Yeah. So September. Yeah, very different. So when I started looking at the energy of September, it started happening. Actually, it's just now starting to really come into effect. But the month of September, there's a lot of bright energy. Almost, it's almost like the moon that we just had, that super full moon. The energy of that, I think that must be also affecting September, because the energy in September is very potent, very powerful. There's an aliveness to it. There's a spinning to it, but it has like bright color, meaning it's got like this yellowy kind of a little bit of slight orange energy, but it's just moving and spinning. And when I get a sense of what that means for people, as well as just everybody, the world, how they're going to be affected. So what it's looking at, I'm just going to have to talk it out because all these frequencies are presenting. So as I'm looking at it, it has the effect of, which is also part of the full moon, which is cool. But I'm seeing, it's almost like if you were seeing a tornado, and you know how a tornado, when it goes over things, it literally pulls things up. Okay. So as I'm looking at September, literally, it's not that it has a tornado, but there is a swirling. But also what's happening is it is pulling. It has that pulling effect, pulling energy up. And what that means is that it's going to be pulling even more from people's subconscious, which for some people that might feel good. For other people, it's not going to, because not everyone in the Oceana wants to face their unconscious. Okay, hang on. So what's happening is that some people are going to be in some resistance, trying to get a grip, because they're going to feel, because stuff's going to become, it's like this. It's like emotions are rising up. You don't want them, because you're used to pushing things down. And in that pushing down, you're avoiding again. But what's happening is this energy is so powerful, so potent. It's like, it's just going to pull it, just going to keep pulling it. So whatever you've got in your subconscious, it's going to get activated. Oh. You're not going to get away from it. Okay. I'm just going to suggest, I'm just make a simple suggestion that when things present, because you will get triggered, things will happen in your life and you'll have an emotion. So rather than avoiding that emotion, write it through, go through it, but go through it with your heart open to whatever those energies, whatever those emotions are. Okay. In doing that, what will happen is the energy will move really quickly. If you try to hold it down and try to get a grip and try to get control and try to avoid emotions and feelings that you've been had locked up in your subconscious, it's going to be a battle, because it's like, as you're pushing it down, it's going to keep trying to rise up. Okay. And it'll keep pushing on your consciousness. So it'll be the easiest thing is just open, let it happen, whatever they are. It doesn't matter what the emotion is, just let it happen, because then the energy can move. And in that moving, as that moves, then it releases. So think of this time, think of September as the great opportunity for healing and clearing subconscious energies that have been buried, that have to do with traumas and crisis and, wounding, shock, things that, basically your subconscious wounding, whatever that is. And by allowing that, and here's the good part, the intensity of the feeling aspect of the emotion, because the energy is moving so quickly, it's like pulling it up so quickly. It's not like you're going to have to go through major fall apart crisis, groveling on the ground. shattered heartbreak emotion. Okay. It's like, yeah, there will be emotion, but just let it and just keep saying yes. And in that, then the energy literally is being lifted. Okay. Lifted and cleared and moved right up. That's the power of this whole time period that we're in, and the power of September as well. And with that full moon, it's also helping and assisting. Even though we are in Mercury retrograde, there's still a potency power that's happening that you can really take advantage of. So, just think of it like it's like a purging, like a roto-rooter, but you don't have to be groveling on the ground, in your excruciating heartache, heartbreak. It's more like, yes, 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 let it move. Sometimes it just might mean even just letting sound out, or, cry and have a big cry, and then it's over. It just moves and moves, because sometimes when we're doing our emotional energy, it can take several times in to unravel something when we're truly surrendering to it, because it's in layers. And with the frequency assisting with this, it's like the layers are the different layers, or the distance between them, or the layers between, that keeps things kind of stuck down. It's all being stirred up. So everything can just move really, really quickly, which is really awesome and a beautiful experience, and definitely will make people's lives easier, meaning letting the energy move. But the good thing though is, keep in mind that we've got all this subconscious wounding. We have misperceptions and beliefs and conclusions based on, it's coming from past life, but we can just use this lifetime right here. It's activating the core energies, the core wounds of this lifetime. Stirring, it's like when I look at it, Oceana, literally the power of the full moon is like hammering the energy for real. Okay. And remember, we got like 2 weeks of that. It's literally like almost coming in like with a jackhammer and breaking it up. Not that it's that kind of intensity, but that's what it's doing. It's like, come in, boom, 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 and shatter, 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 breaking up all this old debris, all this old, emotional pieces. And now it's September, that swirling, lifting energy, all those energies that have been broken up are now just coming up and out, which is phenomenal. I mean, if anybody had to do their emotional work, this is the time to do it, because it's going to be so much easier, so much more movement will happen. It'll be a deep unraveling, a deep purging and a clearing of these energies, so that as they're lifted, there's something begins to happen that you're just going to feel so much lighter and freer and more able to really follow whatever that heart's desire is. Because what happens too is, when we're blocked, when we got all this wounding down in our subconscious, the heart isn't open, and when the heart's not open, we can't really receive, and we can't really know the truth of things. So as this is coming through, this is like the heart opening month, a month for heart opening, because it's like pulling up and lifting up these really deep, deep, deep wounds, and all this old stuff, crisis and everything from this lifetime. So people who utilize, these energy frequencies, especially when you understand that, each month is offering something different, that you can take advantage. When you have awareness, then you can take advantage of it, So that's why this is such a great thing, Oceana, for us to be doing this. It's like bringing awareness, bringing information that people can utilize, knowing, okay, this is the month to do this. Oh, that's the month to do this. You know what I mean? It's like each one will get different, So right now, this is a light energy and incredible energy assisting the movement of really coming in and unraveling and unwinding at a very, very deep level, which is very cool. Yeah. So.
Okay. I have a question, because I have felt this myself, and I know other people have been going through it as well, where something will trigger you and some old anger or grief will come up to the surface. Now, there seems to be a reaction in that moment from some presence, some bit of training or programming we received, maybe an entity interference. But for myself, I know, like, I was raised in, as I've said many times, a very strict, sort of narrow evangelical reference. You're not supposed to have negative emotions.
Right.
And if you do, it signals you're not trusting God, you're not being cheerful, and also you're upsetting yourself for no reason. And this morning I got angry, I got fed up about something, and I felt this pressure come in saying, oh, just listen to some soothing music and it'll be okay.
Whoa, like overriding it.
I'm letting a lot of stuff up here and it needs to get out, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me address a couple things. So here's another thing that people are not aware of. When we have any kind of wounding, I don't care what it is, like Oceana, for you growing up in that situation with your family, and, you know, on some level, they just wanted you to, no matter what you were feeling, just present as though you're happy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like guilt tripping, some kind of weird stuff. So what happens though, people, is there are discarnates attached to these places of wounding. Mm-hmm. We need to get them out, because what they do is they intensify your experience, and they can keep you stuck in certain vibrational experiences. And they're like Oceana, as you were talking, I could see the programming, swear to God, I could see that programming over your energy field. Okay. So that's going to happen for people. People are going to have programming you've grown up with, belief systems you've grown up with, that are affecting you and blocking you and inhibiting you from just friggin' letting it go. Okay. There's belief systems. There's, so as I look at the belief systems, like even with you, Oceana, it's like growing up, and even though you have cleared so much and expanded so much, there's still a little bit of a structure. Like when you were talking, I could see it, you know, like a structure. Yeah. And that structure is, I mean, it's not really anchored in, but it's still overlaying on you. And it's an old paradigm structure. And it's the belief systems that you, on some level, didn't truly buy into all the way, but also began to, you know, disengage from them, but they didn't get lifted. You know, I just feel like I want to lift that structure, if that's okay, from your energy.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
That extends to everybody. Just
for everybody. Yeah, and in fact, everybody just hold that thought of structure, of belief systems, whatever you grew up with. You don't have to understand. You don't have to know. Just hold the desire to be done with false structures that are not the absolute. That's very simple. Okay. Any kind of structures that keep you bound, that keep you stuck, that keep you believing what is not the absolute. Okay, so just hold that, and just for a moment, and I'm just going to use Oceana as the guiding post, so to speak, and everybody else, the structure, frequencies, belief systems, and it's also that what is that? The patriarchal energy that also anchors things in. That everyone's got that. It doesn't matter what you believe, everyone has it, because that structure's been being created for, you know, almost 2,000 years. Okay, here we go. All right, so Oceana, I'm going to go ahead now. The whole frequency, because it's cool, because it's not really anchored in, but it's still in your field. Okay, and then also for everybody else who's here, everybody present, that whole patriarchal. Yeah, right through there. Now, with Oceana, that's it right there. Shatter. Shatter the frequent. There we go. Shatter. And there we go. Lifting, dissolve. Activating right through there. Light. Out. Dissolve. Good. Alrighty, cool. Now, just to check in, Oceana, go ahead and just feel into your own self, feeling into those belief systems that you've kind of lived with, and that structure. Let's see how that feels when you feel into that.
Okay. What's interesting, I feel almost like a swirl of energy around me, and it's carrying that away. And I also feel like the presence I felt this morning as I was letting that anger come up isn't there anymore. It seems to have turned away and gone. Yeah, so that's fantastic.
Right.
you.
Yeah. So just so you know, your whole energy field looks different. This is really cool because you got a lot of bright light anyway, but there's a lot of consciousness and so that's looking really good. Like this is the true energy of Oceana. Beautiful energy. Wow, nice. Light. Good.
Oh, thank you so much, Bonnie. And Cynthia points out some people might not know about discarnates, and that's just people who die and leave their body, but they don't go into the light. They look for somebody else's body to inhabit, basically.
Right.
This is,
So the discarnate thing, unfortunately, everyone has discarnates. They attach to the same wounding that you have, so they'll attach to, the same kind of issues. So they'll attach to that and then anchor in. What it does is it intensifies your experience of, whatever your wounding is. It makes it more intense and more in your face. So getting discarnates out is really, really vital, really important. Okay, so just so people know, we don't want people in us, and it happens all the time. So there are ways that you can stop it, but first you have to become aware that it's actually happening. Okay, so now that you know, absolutely it's happening, now you can take action to claim your body, claim sovereignty, release agreements and contracts that you've made with discarnates. When you feel them within, you can call in the light, you can call in the emissaries that also escort discarnates home, you can call in loved ones, and then you can help them to go. If you feel something's in there, you have the ability and the power to do that. So I just want to bring that to people's awareness that they're not victims to it, that they really do have the ability to take charge. This is my body. I don't belong here. No more.
Absolutely right. What's interesting is Ava is saying, with these strong feelings coming up, I fear that this coming month will be overpowering. That's interesting. Was that a correct sort of perception? Or maybe, I don't think it has to be overpowering.
It doesn't have to be. And for some, it's going to feel like it is. It's going to feel very intense, okay? And the absolute key is whatever you are feeling, let it happen, okay? This is vital. This is key. Like even what Oceana said, she said she had anger. She's just letting it move. And if you can sense her energy, there's a lot of beautiful clarity, a lot of light. So, energy just moves. So for everyone, it'll be more intense if you try to hold energies back. So in the experience of whatever's getting activated, whatever that is, it doesn't matter what that emotion is. It could be frustration, rage, anger. It could be heartbroken, shattered, betrayed. Whatever those emotions are, let yourself have them. Just let the energy move. Just keep saying yes. I want to be done. Yes, I say yes to knowing this energy, so I can be clear of it, so I can be done with it, so I can release it. Let it go. Let it be done. Okay, so people don't get caught up in the worrying about the intensity. The intensity's happening, and the more we just let the energy move, the less intense it feels. Okay, the intensity is going to feel for those who are like holding back. It's like you're going to get whacked. Okay, so rather than getting whacked, just give it up. Okay, give it up and let it move.
Yeah, I agree. It's much healthier just to let it go. This is where an awful lot of illness and also ongoing depression and feeling of detachment from life. That's a lot of that has to do with suppressed anger, grief, shock that never comes up. It's just like a wound that's unhealed under the surface, and that's not good.
Right. Yes. It's like it's festering. Okay. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of energy to hold down these emotions, and it will cause people to have like exhaustion, fatigue, fogginess. I mean, there's a lot of different things that will start to happen when we're suppressing emotion. Energy needs to be moving. So, the word energy is, energy in motion. So emotions need to move. If we don't move them, they clamp down, and then all kinds of different things start to happen. And then it also affects our sense of oneness, our connection with ourselves, love for the self, which affects the connection to all existence. But all this energy that we're pushing it down, we're containing it. And again, energy just, if we just let the energy move, then all this butt hurt and all this anger, frustration, all this stuff, it just lifts. And we don't have to hold on to resentment or blaming or feeling. Here's another thing. When we push things down, we implode on ourselves and make it about us. And then we don't like ourselves. We say, we call ourselves names. We're so bad. There's something wrong with us, whatever. And it's all that is it's just suppressing the energy. Let the energy move. All those thoughts will be lifted, okay? And even those thoughts about the self will be lifted. And then, then there's more of a lightening up, a liberation, and an expansion, which we want.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the good news here. Now, what's interesting is Cynthia is saying it sounds like the dark forces will be less powerful in September. Would you say that's true?
I would, because here's the thing. Dark forces do not reside in the light, okay? So right now, the light of September and the light of that full moon are bright energy on the entire planet. So the planet right now is almost bathed in light, okay? So a lot of these darker energies, like the dark force energies, demons, evil energies, they're going into hiding places, okay? Sometimes they'll go into the earth itself, they'll go into people's bodies, people that don't hold light or whatever, these energy frequencies, they'll just move away, because here's the thing, they know the light will be gone, and you know what I mean? It won't be here forever. So right now is the perfect time, the most potent time to deal with these dark force interferences, because again, they're weaker. They're not going to come into the light, so to speak. Okay. So if you're being attacked by these powers of darkness, it's like holding that energy, letting that light shine. They're going to move away and try to get away. So this is the perfect time as well to get clearings on dark force energies, get that, because now it's like it'll just blast them out, because they can't reside. Darkness cannot live in the light. It's not possible. Okay. And that's another reason why we want to let the energy move. These wounded places, we want them to move, because it opens the heart. Opening the heart to love opens the heart to the light that we are. So our light begins to shine even more when we allow ourselves to feel that frequency of love. Okay. We all have it. There's a place within all of us when we have unconditional love for ourselves and for all others. And we want that we want it to wake up. Okay. We want that to wake up. And it also protects us from like the powers of darkness. So, even people that are being attacked, like right now, even in your dream state where you're being attacked in the dreams and undermined, it's not going to be as intense, because there's just too much light. Okay, so now is the time to deal with all this interference, deal with this dark force stuff, all these attacks, and and open that heart, because it's really about love. When you hold love, powers of darkness cannot exist in that. Okay, it cannot, absolutely cannot.
Oh, I love that. That is so brilliant. Now, also, Deborah is asking, what about people who have addiction issues? Will it be intense for them?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so people who have addiction. All right, hang on. Okay, hang on. Yeah. All right, so when I look at that, for people who have, it's going to be intense. It's going to be really intense, simply because, think about this. You have an addiction, okay? I promise you, if you have an addiction, you have hundreds of discarnates attached to that addiction. Yeah. I'm not joking. I'm telling you straight up, okay? Honest to God, for real. That's it. Hundreds. So what's happening is, as that energy is moving and pulling, it's literally pulling these discarnates out, okay? So you're having all these addicts. It doesn't matter what kind of an addict they are. These addicts are also being pulled into the light, which is awesome, really awesome. And then what happens too is it'll almost feel like the intensity of the addiction is even stronger, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm addicted to cigarettes, let's just say cigarettes, okay? I mean, it could be drugs, whatever. Mm-hmm. But during this month, it's like a pull. I'm almost like I got to have more cigarettes. You know what I mean? Because it's like that the pull is happening, and all the subconscious stuff that's causing the addiction is also being pulled up. So everything's coming to the surface. So things will get more intense. And again, if you let it move, if you let the energy move, when the energy starts to calm down, as we start pulling out of September, going into October, then it's going to start mellowing out. But in my way of thinking, basically, is we got the opportunity. It's going to be intense. We're on fire. Let's utilize it. Let's use it. Let's take advantage of it rather than trying to stop it and then, pushing it down and then, finally getting through this time period. And then when we come into these next few months, I can tell you right now, there's going to be some sliding into dark, and it's best to get clear as much as you can. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really intense. So, again, we just want to, this is the time, people. The new paradigm is shining, new world, new earth is all vibrating at a higher level frequency. This is the opportunity, true opportunity, to let these energies move. Let them move. Just say yes, 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 yes.
Absolutely. Something helpful, a phrase you have used a number of times, Bonnie, that I feel is helpful, because sometimes people have a strong tendency, like an addiction, and then they think this is just who I am, and they confuse the presence of the discarnates and the addiction with who they are, and they feel they're losing a part of themselves. Right. And something that's helped me in the past is to say, this is not me.
Right.
No me.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yes, Oceana. It's true, people. So, not always, but oftentimes when we have like a feeling, a thought, a desire, feelings of addiction, whatever, doesn't matter what, we can sometimes go, wait a second, that's not me. That's not me. And when we wake up to that and recognize that's not me, then you have even more ability to command, get out. Whoever that is, you don't belong here. This is yours. Look into the light and go home. You're not welcome here. Claims and contracts are no longer void. I no longer allow you to be here. Go home. So pay attention when you really are feeling and that knowing or that sense, like, wait a second, like even a thought. It could be a thought. It could be a feeling. It could be a reaction. And you go, wait a second, that's not me. Trust yourself. Go with it. Okay. Because if it is you, you're not going to get it out anyway. But if it isn't you, get it out.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kate is asking, could you suggest some specific ways to release trauma from our bodies? And I think part of that is going into the emotion and allowing it to come up.
Mm-hmm.
As well, you do energy clearings. Is there anything else that you would suggest?
Yeah, so people, okay, so you all have the ability truly to actually move energy from your own self, okay? So what I would encourage people to do is just doing what Oceana is saying is let yourself feel into the trauma, feel into the emotion, okay? Let your body accept it, go through it, but also once you're in that feeling state, then you literally just see yourself literally just using your intention, call in the white flame, the Holy Spirit itself, ask for that white flame to start dissolving, 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 and spinning in that frequency of that trauma and help to dissolve it out, as you're accessing it and allowing it and welcoming it and facing it and just surrendering to it. Then you use that white flame and you just see it happening. And you guys, you can also, I'm not joking, you can call me in and I'll do it. I'll spin that energy, okay? So you got that. But you can do it yourself. So just try that out and just lay down, drop in feeling, and then bring in that white, see it, visualize it, give the go-ahead, give permission, asking for that white flame to come through and dissolving, dissolving, dissolving the trauma, all that energy, whatever's there, and energy can get lifted and cleared. So y'all have that capability. You can all do it, truly.
That's great. That's great advice to use the white flame. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's see, tiny bit of time left. Tamara and others have been experiencing dizziness and nausea as they've expressed emotion. That's not unusual. That shows
Yeah, when sometimes I have people throw up, okay? Not joking, for real. When energy's moving, you get nauseous, you get lightheaded, you vomit, And it's sometimes just dry vomiting, but it's energy moving, so it's actually a good thing. This is probably why I have people lay down when they're doing any kind of big energy work, because you can definitely get lightheaded. You can definitely feel, nauseous and not feel good. But it's a good sign because it does mean energy is moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm just looking at these a few more questions here. Alice is saying, if this month is using divine fire energy to clear our emotions, does that mean that in September we'll see more weather disasters from Mother Earth? I feel these disasters are by and large orchestrated. They are created by the old power structure. But what's interesting is that fire energy is being used, I feel, to clear a lot of density.
Oh yeah, that's probably what's happening. Yeah, it has to. It's like the purging. We're in a purging, people. That's it. The world is purging, the earth is purging, everything is shifting and changing. Take the ride. That's the best thing you can do. Take the ride.
Yeah, absolutely right. And then let me see here. One last one. Christina's saying, okay, everyone has discarnates, but what about good influence entities? I mean, you do not want any discarnates in your body. Even those that have good intentions, have your highest interest. Here's the thing. They're friggin' humans. Yeah.
They still have all their belief systems and misperceptions. They are not clear. You do not want anybody in your body. Yeah. Period. That's it.
I thought there's positive entities who are angels and guides, but they're not going to jump into.
They're not going to be in your body. They don't come into your body. Okay. Dead people don't belong in your body. That's it.
Absolutely.
Period. That's it.
And this is such an amazing moment in human history that people are beginning to face this. And I'm so glad for Bonnie's work. And Christina is also asking, is Bonnie aware the moon is an inorganic satellite? The etheric blueprint is still there. And I feel, anyway, the moon still influences us.
Yeah. Yes, it will be it was about a 2-week influence. So we're a few days past it, but we got, a good week and a half of still having big influence. So take advantage of it, people.
Yeah, absolutely. And our clearings available on YouTube are only through the paid membership. Membership.spiritualacceleration.com. You sign on to that for free, and then you can purchase clearings there. You can purchase, go to sessions at spiritualacceleration.com to work with one of Bonnie's team members or with her. And there are wonderful upcoming clearings in September. Let me see here. I should have that up in front of me. Clearing anxiety. That's a huge one.
And that's a big one.
September 8th. All right. And on September 22nd, tap into Unlimited Possibilities. And when you purchase this, you can be there live as it's happening. And it'll be a discounted rate for those.
Yeah, it's $5 cheaper if you go buy it when it's live. Yep.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Yvette. White Flame's very helpful. And there's just so many phenomenal clearings on the membership site. So go to members.spiritualacceleration.com and look at those. And then if you go to clearings, you'll see coming live group energy clearings. So fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to add, or is that enough?
No, just really just take advantage. Just let it all go and just say yes. Just say yes. Let the energy move.
Yeah, fantastic.
Magic will happen. Alrighty. Thank you, Oceana. It's been real, always. Very cool.
Always an honor to work with you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Huge blessings, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Tell your friends. Bring it on. All right.